All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Legend of the Galactic Heroes, episode 98.
All right, Ruental.
Your legend is not
Your
over yet,
longest day.
I believe. I believe.
But in some ways, you can't really become a legend until you die. So
It's true. Maybe you weren't, meant to be a legend, you know?
maybe not.
Maybe you'll get that peaceful end that you so are terrified of. But, yeah.
In your final moments.
Uh-huh.
So, y'all, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. All right, Ruental. You lived well.
You did. And you died well.
And you died well, as in addition to that.
Shunkov is going to be jealous.
Yes, actually, Shunkov
I'll have Ruental's head in one hand and Trunit's, head under my boot. It's like, well, nope, he beat me to it, right? And he was the one that went and almost killed Ruental the one time and everything.
Oh my god!
Yeah. He's going to be like, that motherfucker, damn it. But I have mad respect for the guy.
Wow. Now, to be fair, they're not going to hear this version of events.
No.
They won't.
Yeah, because Ruental died in battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
many little things I say to love about this episode, but it's Ruental's death in combination with the ways in which, even in the end, the saddest part of this death, I would say, is that Reinhardt might never fully understand why Ruental did what he did.
Yeah, because we still don't know if Mecklinger is going to say.
Yep. We still don't know if Mecklinger is going to say. That's not something that's relevant to this episode's story, so it's not getting brought up.
And to be fair, given that Lang started vomiting all the details and stuff, there's a very good chance that then they'll be like, oh.
Well, yeah.
There we go.
Kessler will bring this kind of stuff up to
right.
Reinhardt as well. So, for now, that's just something that's up in the air.
Yep.
But on the other side of things here, Bergen-Grun's gone. He promised to follow Ruental all the way.
Yep.
And he did. Mittermeier never got to say any more words to Ruental.
Nope. Yeah, that call was the end.
And it really was. I thought that there might have been a hope of them maybe seeing each other. But no.
Yeah. And damn, Ruental's last words. Mein Kaiser, Mittermeier, hail to the vanquished. Damn.
Yeah. Elfried, that was a really cool twist to have her show up and be like, hey, someone whose name you don't know brought me here. Now, I loved the immediate answer to that, because I was like, there's no one really that makes sense to have brought, so, to brought her here, but then it's the kid.
Right, I figured it was Bergen-Grun, but yeah.
No, I love so much that it's the kid, because it's the idea of, if you're not reading between the lines, I guess you might not even really understand even after the kid is being shown. But it's the idea of, no, you're about to die, and no, I'm not going to tell you what I named this kid.
Right.
That's not really for you.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, that was her true revenge.
Yeah.
Right. Because he was always okay with the idea of her killing him, in the same way that Reinhardt was okay with the idea of Ruental, turning on him if he thought he could do a better job.
Yeah, but he didn't want to create another one of him.
Right. And
he wanted everything to end right
exactly.
there. Yeah.
And this, I feel like we kind of the stuff that I talked about in the previous episode's discussion of my hopeful end for Ruental that would also be the most torturous end for Ruental, We kind of got the benefits of that, while at the same time Ruental getting the death, that he sought, right? And okay, she shows up, right? She shows him his son, and he's like, damn, okay, yeah, the fates are either cruel or have a sixth sense of irony.
Well, that was with relation to the fact that he was given a son, but Mittermeier and his wife were not given a kid, and that's in that he's like, yes, it is someone who is blessed with having basically a friend with whom they can leave someone to in that regard. He's like, Mittermeier, This is obviously
you want someone to take care of the kid.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's the way
so
that
perfect.
It's the way that Ruental can kind of there's a lot of negative connotations when the notion of parents living on and their children is brought up. And I don't mean all of those, but the idea that you lived Ruental, right? Like you did add something good to this galaxy, right? Even though you think you weren't capable of that, right? Even if the history books lambast you and things like that and whatnot, you will live on not just in the memories of of your friends, but also every time that Mittermeier and his wife look at their son, right? Or just remember that they have a son. Yeah.
Man.
And who knows?
Who knows so much?
Given that Mittermeier might be put into a high position of like political authority, not just military authority.
Sure.
Now, granted, that wouldn't, it wouldn't pass on to his child necessarily, right? Because that's not how it works.
No.
But if his child does end up having a large role in the direction of the galaxy moving forward, how poetic would that be? How fitting would that be? That from the very place, from the very person where you thought that there was nothing good that you could bring to this galaxy other than to serve someone else.
Disgusting nobility.
Right, exactly.
All that it brought.
No, that's actually maybe, possibly, just maybe, where part of the redemption of, the galaxy could come from, right? Possibly. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah. Really, really good fitting end for him. Lots of lovely little details that I just like to gush over here. Just the fact that he fucking killed
that cockroach.
Killed that cockroach. That he stamped him out. That he stomped on the rat. That he blew its lungs out. I love to see Truenett just choke on his own blood and being unable to talk. Just just that is
excellent.
Such just sickening catharsis for me. I'm just like, yes.
Oh yeah.
I think there's very few characters in this story that I wanted to die more than Truenett.
Like Lang was definitely pushing, making up for lost time of not being in the series for very long. But Truenett,
even still,
Truenett's got a special place.
Yeah, Truenett was the primary thorn of Yang, and there were a lot of little touches that carried all the way through Yang's story to Ruental's that were rather interesting. They brought up the idea that Ruental and Yang both were born in the same year and died in the same year.
Yep.
I'm not going to bring up anything weird about the number 33. If you want to do anything with that, you can.
Right.
I don't care. But
wouldn't have been surprised if that was maybe implied for Yang, but whatever.
But yeah, whatever. But with Ruental also dying from a wound that is kind of just random chaos.
Right. Very similar to Yang.
It was very much very similar to Yang in that there was no malice in it. It was it was just random, really.
And he died before his wholesome blonde friend could reach him. You waited.
I waited for you all this time. I love also the way in which Ruental died alone.
Okay.
And yet he was surrounded by those that cared about him and were loyal to him.
Right.
I love also the way in which, as Ruental is dying, the sun is setting on this twin star, basically.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right. Yeah. He was one of the twin stars,
and the shading of the light slowly comes down
as the color drains from his face. He gets weaker and weaker and just wants to go to sleep.
Yeah. And then Mittermeier, the other star, shows up. With this, everything's in darkness now, and I just love that. And then Bergen-Grun being completely still trapped in that darkness, unable to be by Ruental's side because he ordered everyone away.
Right,
just broken down. I don't think actually Bergen-Grun was drunk there.
Oh no, I don't think so either.
I think they were implying that this is actually one of the most sober times we've seen Bergen-Grun, and emotional.
Yeah. And if I were to say something that I think would potentially be the most damaging to the Empire itself, it wouldn't actually be Ruental's rebellion. It was Bergen-Grun's words. It was Bergen-Grun's words.
Yeah.
His words and his actions, because he was clearly shaken to the core. Right. He ended his own life. For God's sakes. Right.
Yeah.
But with the people that heard that.
Yeah.
That is.
That's gonna unsettle. Some minds.
Suicide on its own.
Would unsettling,
right?
Yeah.
especially when it's like this person that they, a lot of them would have known, very
Respected,
closely and respected.
peers,
yeah,
brothers
exactly,
even.
right. But then the words delivered before then, and the troublesome thing is that that is definitely a valid perspective, but it is also the perspective of someone who decided to kill themselves.
Yes.
Right. So it cannot be
understated.
That
there's
venom. There's some context, some venom, and it was definitely not someone. It was definitely not said in a cool, level-headed manner.
Of course not.
Right.
Of course not.
And that wasn't the point of it, right?
No.
But I would not be surprised if a bunch of those soldiers there also then started to have serious doubts about following Reinhardt, and then it could spread to other people, and who knows?
But just put things in context here. Bergen-Grun, at his best, is still really wanting to wake up Reinhardt from the slumber, and that he's basically saying, I would follow you forever, Reinhardt. But you need to wake up.
Yeah.
And I will gladly throw my life as a sacrifice to help you wake up.
Yep. And
that's I think all he's doing.
Sure.
I think the point is that there's definite venom in them, because the emotion of it is that a lot of this came about not just because of Ruental.
Nope.
But because of a multitude of actions that built up on top of each other to lead to this moment where Ruental did make this decision to betray Reinhardt. Wow, I can't speak right now. But I love that it happened in that darkness. Basically, the same shadow that was cast over Ruental and is cast over in Bergen-Grun. And then all the while that this is happening, they just leave the blood stain in the office the whole way there. We're not doing any deep cleaning shit. No. He died right here.
This is a
no one else
now.
did it. I did it. He's dead.
Yeah. Like,
fuck all y'all who,
This building shall become a tourist attraction in this place.
In this
a scumbag
place,
was
an unnamed scoundrel was an unnamed cockroach was stabbed.
We're not going to say who it was because we don't want to grant them any infamy or anything. But they were a shit stain, and now they are a blood stain.
Right. It was a Benedict Arnold of Republican democracy, basically. You know?
And it's just. And here they ended, right?
Yep.
Like and I love that Ruental's just like the whole way that played out was fantastic, right? Because on the one hand it's like, Ruental, you're dying. You want to have Trunit brought before you, now granted there's the possibility that Ruental was planning on killing him, but
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he basically thought of his 3 wishes of sorts of what he could have in death, and he's like
in a very Shankov-like manner,
right, and he's like, I want to see Mittermeier. I want to see Mein Kaiser. I don't have any other wishes. Oh wait.
Right. It's the well, I won't be able to see Mein Kaiser because that's just not going to happen.
No, I know.
Maybe I'll see Mittermeier. If I can't see Mein Kaiser, maybe I can help him still some way. I know it's just the thing.
Yeah. Cracks knuckles.
Yeah.
Get my sidearm. Sir, I'm not going to allow you to hurt yourself. No, don't worry.
Yeah.
No.
That's not going to happen.
That's not happening here.
Yeah.
No.
Mecklinger's line in the previous episode of a man with the mind of a rat, cannot understand the heart of a lion.
Yeah.
That was a great line back then, but I feel like this is
even better now.
I feel like it would work even better there.
Because freaking Oberstein was thinking that he understood the heart of this lion and being like, oh, yes. He must have annoyed you, that blonde brat. Absolutely.
Wait, Oberstein?
Did I say Oberstein? God. Ugh. My boy Trunit was trying to understand the heart of a lion here.
Yeah.
And
it was just because you could see that Ruental was like he really was dying. He was starting to get more tired. Color was draining, all that stuff. And he's just dozing off a bit more and leaning back in his chair.
Blinking.
Yeah, and just sort of I'll listen to him drone on whatever. And
then Kaiser, right?
And it's just he's like, what'd you say?
Heard you were talking shit.
I didn't realize I had this kind of energy left in me, but hold on just a second.
I think he was legitimately if I do this, I can get him to admit to it. And I thought he was potentially going to even have it recorded.
Oh, gotcha.
It would have been hilarious to be and click. Thank you.
He kills him, and then he's like, by the way, the recording that was going, delete it. No one needs to hear this vermin speak again.
Yeah. I thought I would need to plant this along to the Kaiser, but no, I don't need any justification now.
Yeah, no,
I'm just gonna do it.
Sully his ears. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, everyone knows that was something that needed to be done, and and since I'm on the way out, might as well,
Yeah, I love that Mittermeier also knew immediately. Like, yep.
Yeah. Oh, Trunit's dead. Good man. Good man.
Wow, Ruental doing some house cleaning before he left.
Oh, how'd you know? It doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
Let me guess. The bloodstain was still. Yeah, it was still.
Yeah, it was still there. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's my man. But I feel like there were so many moments in this episode where I could just feel the tears coming on. But once I realized that Mittermeier was holding in all that emotion until he was looking out at space, and there were a few moments, it seemed almost, where characters were looking out at space, like with Reinhardt as well, and almost in some ways as if Ruental was as well, just kind of like looking off like vaguely into the distance.
Or at the very least, like a star had gone out.
Yeah, and just realizing how lonely it was going to be from here on out. I can definitely feel a little bit at times in the last like not counting the rebellion, but in the last 10 to 15 episodes that this is the end of the show.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is like, characters are getting axed rather quickly. And I'm like,
how many admirals did we lose in the last, 8 episodes?
And I could absolutely feel the writer being like, this is rough. Yeah, let's give him Trunit while we're taking
let's
out Ruental.
Pour out some whiskey, for while we do this, but
yeah. You just make sure it doesn't touch that nasty blood on the ground.
Right, yeah.
Pour that over here.
For a
better stain,
For a second, I thought it was going to be when Mittermeier took down the flag, and now that I think about it, it's like that would be totally silly. Yeah. There's no way he would do that.
No way he would do that. I know exactly what you're going to say.
But I thought he was going to be like, that blood stain, we don't even want Ruental's body to, be in line of sight of anything, of Trunit.
That's literally the symbol of the Kaiser. So
yeah, no. So instead, he drapes Ruental in it, specifically covering the area with the wound with the symbol of the Kaiser.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh man. I really liked the little stuff with Reinhardt. I would say just the little bit of the narrator making sure that we understood properly the deception that he was operating under, that Reinhardt didn't even realize that he was the one alone who probably wanted the fight. And that Ruental was only doing this so that he could potentially give it to him because he thought that maybe Mein Kaiser wanted this.
Yep.
And had always wanted this. But with all these circumstances lining up and his own ambitions and his desires and all this, it felt like the perfect time. And no, it worked out horribly for him.
Right.
So I really hope that Mecklinger does pass along the info. And now that Kessler knows this, I want him to pass it along as well. But,
yeah. And in a lot of ways, then we also got that thing from the narrator of Reinhardt's on a similar path. He is slowly dying, right? It's, because of his fortitude and his ability to, be competent and clear and sharp with his duties and everything.
A lot of people aren't noticing how severe this could be. Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah, it's a problem.
It's a problem, and I'm hoping that the fact that Ruental is dead, the final words of Bergen-Grun.
He's going back to Fejon.
Yeah. I very much want him to see Mariendorf again.
And marry that Mariendorf.
But also, I want him to have that moment of realization because like I said in the previous episodes of discussion, they're on very similar paths. Given the fact of how Ruental's story ended, right? With him actually dying, him having been killed, right? And he got a bit of clarity towards the end, right? But it was still a thing of, his time was cut short, right? I want Reinhardt to start to figure this out. And yet with how the narrator's talking about this,
we might only
his
have,
odds I feel like aren't
we might have December literally for Reinhardt.
Yeah.
There is a possibility.
This is the beginning of December that we're in here.
Yeah.
And
so Christmas Day might be a sad day.
Because the thing is that if/when Reinhardt dies, it's probably not going to be at the end of the show. probably going to be a bit before, because we need to see how the Empire carries on it.
Well, of course, not going to be in the literal last episode, but like
right.
But like I think we've predicted since like early on in the show that Reinhardt would die in the show.
Oh,
and it just wouldn't be like the last 2 or 3 or 4 episodes.
No, right, but like, because like I think there is a part of me that would hope for the show to end when Reinhardt dies, but like he's figured things out, and and it's more like in timeline wise it's a ways off, But given how the narrator's talking about this, I don't think that's going to be the case.
Oh, I think literally Reinhardt will be dead in 4 or 5 episodes.
I agree. Yeah, because there's only 110 in the show, right? So we've got 12 left, right? Mm-hmm. And then I think the one more movie.
No,
because I think there was a 3rd movie.
No, I don't think so.
And then, but either way,
okay.
That's it, right? So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember there being a movie though, so maybe I'm just wrong about that. But
yeah, there were 3 movies, and I believe we just did the first 2, because those were the replacements for the early stuff. But that's yeah.
So,
but the point is, Reinhardt is not long for this world, and I want him to figure this shit out. I want him to see his sister again. I feel like he will see Mariendorf before he dies. I certainly hope so.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
But I don't know if he'll necessarily see his sister again, and that's something that I really want to.
He might not see his kid. In fact,
Yeah.
odds are he definitely won't see his kid.
If he dies this year, then
he can't. He
Right.
he actually can't.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
there is a possibility. There's a possibility with the way this is kind of wrapping up the Civil War side of things here, that if the Isolon Republic makes a little bit of an attempt to stabilize things and provide some help in that regard with everything in the new land, we could see a really interesting turn of things in the next few episodes or so.
Right, because there's no other than dealing with Rubinsky and finishing off the Church of Fejon, Church of Terra. There's not much like direct violent conflict that will happen, right? Like it'd be more like tying up loose ends, setting up the future of this world, this universe, and will humanity have not figured it out, but have made a concrete step forward,
right? And there's definitely a few characters that don't feel like they fit in whatever the next generation of characters for this world will be, basically.
Yeah. Reinhardt's one of them.
In a weird way, I feel like we had set up a little bit of another reason as to why Oberstein won't be one of them either.
I agree.
And that's partially, I think, because of the way Kessler was like, I'm going to ignore that Oberstein comment.
On the surface.
Because I don't care to tell Lang anything. But also, like, I know Oberstein.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a real problem security-wise. He's more of like someone that might need to be demoted forever.
Exactly, right. Like,
at some point.
Oberstein's usefulness might end up running out.
Yeah.
And that's usually that's okay. Yeah, and that's okay, right? And I think Oberstein would be okay with it too.
I think he would too, yeah.
Yeah, like he'd be like, okay, yep, that's fine. I can just, stay home with my dog.
Yeah. But
Oh.
okay. I'm really excited for like Hunt for Rubinsky. And maybe
find the weasel and smoke him out
and DeVille. Cuz he's still out there.
That's true.
So we could have basically another Cour's worth of story with the Church of Terra's like last final desperate ditch effort to try and make a play here.
Yeah.
And by having something that would instigate Reinhardt's death be like the final act in that regard. And if Reinhardt dies, the thing that they would probably be hoping for is a new form of chaos that would engulf the galaxy in the wake of the death of the Golden God.
Yep.
And then it would be up to people like Julian and everyone else to basically be like, we need to right the ship of this galaxy's course, otherwise we're going to end up in the Ouroboros spinning thing all over again. And
which is why I want that to be taken care of before Reinhardt dies. Like, I want Reinhardt's death to be pushed off as long as possible.
I feel like it has to be partially, actually, the people in the Isolon Republic's sort of responsibility to help with this.
To show that the future generation is capable of keeping the house clean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Reinhardt shouldn't have to bear the majority of it.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like he should be involved.
Right, because there is the whole information about how they were responsible for the death of a lot of his subordinates, Ruental, Lutz, etc.
Yeah. But, okay. Yeah. Y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all of this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.